Che siamo?
Ok, ci siamo.
Ci siamo? Sì, aspetta che mo mi spacco i timpani perché... Allora, a posto. Che siamo? Sì, che siamo. Dopo 10 minuti, vabbè dai.
Posso farlo? Ti
Fallo,
prego.
fallo.
Hey, avventurieri, io sono Exar
Io sono super.
e benvenuti in questa nuovissima live di Paladins su YouTube, però di Paladins a vedere il vlog.
No! Sul serio che siamo su YouTube? Guarda, non lo sapevo.
E niente, oggi andremo a vedere come funziona il nuovo eroe nella live ufficialissima di Paladins. Oh, è già
Prima...
cominciata.
Sì, ma prima ci guardiamo il teaser.
A posto.
We trusted you with our lives, goddess.
Che è
You told us
bellissimo.
the seal
Ok,
held
non
evil at
parliamo.
bay. But we fell prey to a different kind of evil. And so, I choose a stronger path. I choose the power to protect myself. I am coming for you, goddess. You and your realm's peace. No matter what game you play, I will sweep the board of your pawns. Go ahead, warn them. I will not be stopped. Darkness will engulf this world, and I will be its herald.
Onesto.
Direi che è fighissimo.
Abbastanza.
Madonna. Io sono già in
Allora...
live, cioè lo sto già
Up
vedendo.
seeing once the update notes show live here in a short amount
Adesso
of time.
siamo tutti
All the bug
all'inizio.
fixes that we have. There are tons for the champions.
Ma dai, abbassiamo prima,
And
guarda.
the last one that we're going to mention in this quick segment
A
is
posto.
probably one of the most important ones I've seen.
Allora...
So let's get
Sentiamo un
right
po'
to it.
quello che dicono.
So for dredge, we have fixed an issue where harpoon's fire rate with the hurl talent equipped will increasingly it was increasingly slower with more percentage cooldown reduction.
Ok,
Good fix for
stanno
him.
parlando di
I know
Drogos.
there's a lot of dredge players that were
ho
asking that.
sentito.
Oh my gosh, can't speak today. Need to cast a spell to do that. Probably whip up some coffee here. Maldamba is our next one. We have him here. Fixed an issue where the VFX
Malbamba.
for the volume
Malbamba.
of the Red Serpent disappeared prematurely, causing players to
Io
get
a sto
feared
punto
by
guardo
it when the
direttamente
VFX
dalla
was no
nostra
longer
live.
That's a
No,
good one
è più
for all of
scomodo.
y'all. And I believe works for every level of graphics as well. So that should help. I know a lot of players play in a little bit of a lower resolution, so we'll be good there. We got Ruckus. We fixed an issue where the wing VFX from Furious Inflame displayed on the front of Ruckus's model instead of the back. So no more.
Cos'è che hanno fatto a Ruckus?
incorrect displays.
Aspetta che sto andando a cercare sul sito.
Ah, ok.
Non so scrivere, vabbè. Allora. Ma? Eccolo qua.
Fixed an issue where Nullify dealt a maximum of 640 damage over the course of its duration instead of 800. So also a good fix. And the one that is the most important here, folks, fixed an issue where players could not equip mastery emotes in the champion menu or the match lobby. There you have it.
Hooray!
So
Va bene.
yeah, absolutely. And yeah, so we're gonna kind of transition over here. The patch notes should be up any second, folks. We publish them. It just takes a minute for the cache to clear. So we'll also be having the lower thirds show with that as well coming up soon. But as you know, bugs are always still under investigation. We also have a bunch that were fixed. Make sure that, whether it's PTS, live, that you use the Discord that we have, discord.gg/paladins.
Non mi sta caricando.
that is paladins.com/bugs.
Non me la sta
They're
caricando.
your friends.
La
Let's
faccia.
go into
Sì.
balance with, you know, Adonis the bear balance master and Nico.
Che non capisco il perché.
I don't know what I should call it. Just an elf? Elf king?
The Orc Slayer. Yeah, it's like the
Orc Slayer? Okay.
Nico. That's
Okay.
the best.
I like that shot. Alright, so we're gonna start here in balance. I'm gonna go into just a couple quality of lives before kind of going into the champion ones that we're gonna go over here, folks. And I'll be passing it to the designers here so they can elaborate a little bit more on some of these. So, yeah, go ahead.
The first thing we have is some gamepad scoreboard improvements, mostly for console. Shoutouts to the AOC. Last year they were pushing for this. Didn't really fit in our schedule, but we did get it in for this patch specifically. Gamepad players will now be able to enable something called the advanced scoreboard in their gameplay settings. That once done, it changes your scoreboard from a hold down select to open to a press to select to open.
Comunque, se avete domande o qualsiasi cosa per il canale o qualsiasi cosa, insomma, scriveteci qui.
Voglio vedere dove, se no. Voglio vedere dove, se no.
Non so se visto.
Once you're in a match, there will be a button in the lower right-hand screen that you'll be able to select, and it will undo all the purchase you made in that instant. So if you end up closing the scoreboard, you will not be able to undo your purchase, excuse me. So you have to make that decision while still in the item store, excuse me. We also have a bunch of UI updates coming into this patch across multiple screens. We're trying to improve highlight states and visibility, readability, basically making it easier to navigate your menus. This is going to be a huge improvement, I think, for gamepad more so, making it more obvious what you're actually highlighted on in the menus. And then we also, along with that, have updates to our quest pane. So it's now a crystal instead of just kind of
Ovviamente questa live non la lasceremo pertanto sul canale una settimana massima e poi la togliamo. Sei d'accordo?
Sì, sì.
Perché comunque la live ufficiale la trovate
Esatto.
sul canale
Di Paladins.
Something that I was interested in having done for, but we didn't quite get it on release. Definitely something people have been asking for Corvus. You now will have an UI indicator when you have Corvus's mark. Just that makes it a little bit more clear why you're getting healed, why, you know, what's going on. So while you are marked by Corvus, there will be, I believe it's in the lower left, the Corvus UI indicator. And then another one, Bomb King has had his ultimate animation slightly reworked, just a little bit cleaner, especially when he uses it after launching himself into the air. It'll be
hanno cambiato l'animazione della ulti di King.
Sì, ho sentito.
I believe that is the extent of the UI, general quality of life changes.
Dai, vogliamo il gameplay.
È di quello che vogliono tutti. Uffa, non riesco a vedere la faccia scritta.
Tight for those, but we'll keep going through these and you'll be able to see not only what we go through, but everything else too that we didn't include in the show, just because we have a, you know, deadline and we want to make sure we have enough time for let's go into Imani. So Imani got the first on our list here. So looks like there's some abilities here. Her Frostbolt, AOC looked like they had some in this. I'll kind of let you take it away here, Adonis or Nico.
Sure, yeah, I can handle this one. So again, this is lower third.
Non ho capito cosa ha detto.
Non io. E più che altro che stavo cercando roba lì.
Stavo parlando di Vora comunque.
Ah.
Frostbolt, we have reduced the time between Frostbolt attacks from 0.8 seconds to 0.5 seconds. We have reduced the damage per Frostbolt from 650 to 410. I'm just going to go through all of them real quick, and then I'll go back and talk over each change. Elemental Shift, which is her stance swap. We have reduced the time to swap between stances from 1 second to 0.25 seconds. It's a significant change. And then we have some changes for talents as well. Pyromania, kind of a small change for this, or rather fairly significant, I suppose. Pyromania now causes all of your pyroballs to deal damage in an area. So this is no longer a cadence, like every third hit thing. And then to accompany that, we reduced the damage from 1,000 per fireball to 800 per fireball, and reduced the area of effect from 30 units to 20 units. So that is the extent of the Amani changes so far. I can talk a little bit about why we've done especially the Pyromania and Frostbolt changes. I do want to start with the Elemental Shift. You'll notice this change is fairly large actually for Amani. It'll allow you to feel much more smooth about transitioning between states, especially using abilities more swiftly and feeling like you're not losing precious time in the middle of that animation when you could be otherwise firing your fireball or Frostbolt. The Frostbolt change itself, with the Pyromania change, we wanted to distinguish Frostbolt a little bit more as a playstyle. You'll be slinging out these Frostbolts much more often. You'll see some synergy with splitting ice as well. So it's a fairly significant attack speed increase with that, and subsequently we reduced the damage per Frostbolt to accompany that. The Pyromania change, ultimately, I think we wanted Pyromania to be in a spot where it felt, well, obviously it felt effective, but it felt able to be used in a variety of situations, specifically being able to know how you're going to use it. So rather than a cadence, now it's every fireball explodes, but with reduced damage and reduced AoE from the original Pyromania. So I am very much looking forward to the feedback we get for the Amani changes. We can actually, if we want, head straight into the next champion as well, I think, which is Lex, right?
Oh yeah. Can't
So for my Lex
Ooh.
mates, hopefully you guys will enjoy this. I'm just going to keep talking.
Yeah, no, keep going.
I'll
I
go
like
through
this
all the abilities
energy.
to start off.
Ho capito bene?
High energy, we've got Orcs to
Credo
kill,
di
we've
sì.
got Vora to reveal. I'm so excited. All right, so for you Lex mains out there,
Ovviamente,
another AOC
appena
recommended
manderanno
change
fuori il
was that
nuovo
we got
champion e faranno
now
vedere
able
un po'
to
come
combat
funziona,
slide in the air.
proprio dal loro schermo,
So you're no longer
e
able
noi
to sidestep
commenteremo
the
tutte le
ground
mosse
related
come
by
ci
distance and not
come si
crippled.
sembrano,
You will
anche
be
fa
able
tutto.
to combat slide out of that. We had some sound and VFX updates to go with that as well, so very, very cool. I'm very happy with how it turned out. And Lex is just slightly more utile in that sense. Retribution. So, when Retribution is used, this ability is no longer a random, just anyone in the match thing. This ability will now prioritize the player with the highest kill streak within 150 units of Lex. If there are no enemies within 150 units of Lex, Retribution will then prioritize the player with the highest kill streak outside of 150 units. So essentially there are two distance bands within 150 units and everything else. In addition to this change, Retribution can no longer target the same target twice in a row. So you can't reroll the same target unless they are probably literally
L'hai
the
capita
only
bene?
available target on the entire map.
Sto iniziando a
So these
capirla.
changes were meant to provide just a little bit more agency to the player.
Però non sono sicuro, per cui non voglio dire cacate.
Vabbè, lo vedremo.
Sì, beh, quello sì.
And that you're not going to be frustrated by, I don't want this target, I'm going to re-roll, and you get the exact same target. Yeah, so those two changes to Lex, we hope put him in a much higher kind of quality of life position.
Also, shout outs to Ethan. I believe he had some hand in the design of the Retribution rework, so always nice to have our team involved and invested in making some exciting gameplay changes. I think Lex mains are gonna have a lot of fun with them.
Oh yeah, I can't wait to see how the Lex is doing combat slide in the air. So I hope there's videos of people just doing that in like the shooting range or something, like practicing it. I don't know. That's just me. But let's go into Victor. Looks like we got some balance changes here for Victor. So his talents, burst mode. You guys reduce the damage per shot
Ok.
I guess it's pretty straightforward, but it looks like you also reduced the max fall off as well. What kind of went into why this decision was made? I know a lot of people, I think, complain about these kind of characters because we're also going to get into Vivian next on console, especially, right?
Yeah, let me just explicit. Sorry, I have to pull the hood up. There was a request from the one and only Martini in chat, so I had to do it for him. If that's you, or just a massive fanboy. So I guess at a high level, we're making some changes. We don't have time to go through all of the balance changes on the patch notes. Andrew's also getting some fall-off adjustments, but what we're mostly looking to do is kind of
Per
shift
quello
the meta away from
porteremo anche proprio appena esce, prima che esca, un video dove la proviamo.
Esatto.
Or characters like Drogos that like to hang in the air, and we don't really want to buff Drogos.
Proprio appena esce, subito.
No, cioè, in realtà quando lo portiamo non è ancora uscito.
No, ovviamente nel public test.
Vabbè, sì, che si provano.
His max damage fall off, which means, okay, if someone's really far away, it's doing this percentage of damage of the 200, is going from 59% to 65%. So at max
Comunque io ho una teoria. Secondo me gioca come Terminus. Non lancia cose, ma colpisce da vicino.
Ma col fatto che, cioè, vedendo dal video, si capisce che più o meno può diventare... boh, non so.
No, mi fa pensare questo, oltre che a una falce, il fatto che dal video sembra che si muova molto velocemente attraverso quei cosi rossi e diventa immortale. Quindi tu piatti dove vuoi andare e a quel punto hai un hit sicura e poi avrà ovviamente una abilità di difesa e secondo me un'altra d'attacco distante, però tipo quello di Terminus. Però ovviamente con flank.
Quindi fa tanto male, perché alla fine i flank sono quello.
No, un'altra cosa che differisce secondo me da Terminus, il fatto che magari sì, fa più o meno il suo stesso danno secondo me, se non poco di più, però colpisce molto più velocemente, di sicuro questo.
Penso proprio di sì.
E la ultimo secondo me sfonderà di brutto,
Sì,
perché
sì.
con gli ultimi eroi che hanno buttato fuori la ulti non è stata molto wow. Cioè comoda, ok, per alcune situazioni, però non OP di sicuro, perché quella di Tiberius ok, è decente, però non è utile al team. Quella di Corvus non fa un granché di danno, cioè ti serve solo a spostare i nemici.
O stun o comunque stun rallenta.
Poi chi è uscito prima?
Raum.
Anche Io, la sua ulti ok, fortuna.
Ma c'è Raum prima.
Raum è forte perché si ricarica velocemente.
Sì.
But that's going to be it here just for the balance, because we do have to keep rolling, folks. We have a lot of stuff to get through. Not just the battle pass, not just the new champion, but we also, right now, coming up, have the first ever video look at the Frozen Guard visual update. The environment team has worked so hard on this, so we are going to go into it now. Enjoy.
It's pretty cool.
Ok.
La Madonna, questa io l'avevo già visto, ma è bellissima, è stupenda, l'hanno migliorata tantissimo.
No, mi si è bloccata la live.
È stupenda. La struttura della mappa è sempre la stessa, ma hanno rifatto completamente tutto.
L'hanno rifatta in un modo stupendo.
Più che altro la grafica l'ha rifatta bella, comunque quei bordi d'oro, il contrasto fra oro e ghiaccio.
Poi anche il fatto che lo facciano tipo miniera lì.
Esatto, Madonna.
Hanno fatto davvero un bel lavoro.
Te che bella.
Questa è da provare
Madò.
subito.
Sì.
Wow. So
Oh,
L'hanno
yeah.
solo
that's probably one of my
abbellita
favorite
o...
like
No, in teoria
reveal
l'hanno
videos for,
solo...
like,
cioè
updates
hanno
we've
rifatto la
done so
grafica.
far. Shoutouts to the video team.
Che roba.
Killing it on that. Real quick before we
Che
go
roba.
into
Su
our next segment's
questo...
gonna be the battle pass. So
Allora,
that's
la
exciting.
mappa
But real
comunque non mi
quick,
piace tantissimo
the
come,
environment
come è strutturata,
artist on this was
perché
Rick
il punto
R.
è molto
So I
chiuso
just want to
e
give some shoutouts
il
to some of
resto
the
è
people
tutto
who
molto più
worked on this.
aperto.
Specifically, we had
Però
Alex
comunque
D
come l'ha
doing the
migliorata
level
come
design on
design,
that.
prima era un po' uno
And lighting
schifetto
was Sydney
ed era,
A. And
non era un
VFX
granché,
is
però adesso
Rollin,
con
who all
questa
probably
cosa
know
veramente è
a
stupenda.
bunch when it
Sì,
comes
sì.
to VFX here at Evil Mojo. So, you know, give it a round of applause for them, and that'll be available this coming update, and it looks crispy clean. I love it. It's chilling my heart, you know, to say the least. So
It's a very cool aesthetic. I need some more puns. Kevin, help me out here.
yeah, I was gonna say, with that bad pun, let's transition into something way hotter, and that's gonna be our battle pass. If you folks haven't realized it, it is kind of like a Witches and Wizards, but like with a, like, you know, what, like a D&D twist, I
Madonna,
guess,
ci fanno
or I guess
vedere
not
altro,
even D&D,
il
but
pass.
RPG kind of twist. It is called the Arcane Packs Battle Pass, and for this, many of you guessed from our clues that we sent out to our international influencers to post on social that the first, well, she's our first unlock, it's going to be the instant unlock, is Firebrand Tyra. So, there's her
Ui,
splash.
madonna.
Porco schifo!
Quanto bella la skin.
Nulla da dire, nulla da dire.
Madonna mia.
È tamarrissima. Poi sparerà colpi di fuoco, che figata.
Puttei.
Questa è proprio bella. Abbiamo cominciato bene, abbiamo cominciato bene.
Direi.
Anche se non avrei scelto Tyra, perché comunque ha molte skin.
È vero. Tyra ne ha veramente tante.
Potevano mettere tipo no, Ram c'era già quella del pass. Tipo Pip. Non fanno mai nulla per il mio Pip.
Vediamo com'è.
Oh, ok.
Pure nella nuova mappa.
This skin, as they say, is pretty lit.
Wow. All right, we're really on this one.
Spacca di
Thunderbrush is
brutto.
gonna make sure we all get raises
Vediamo.
for our puns. I can't
È
confirm.
veramente bella l'arma.
No, I
Sì,
can't
poi
confirm that.
così le fiammelle che si muovono.
What? Nani?
No, this is a really exciting skin. I love the details on the cape specifically.
Ma sai che in realtà le fiamme...
That you actually saw at the
Ok, sì, guarda, il colpo quello grosso è cambiato.
also really enjoy the weapon, the kind of lava-esque VFX that's like pulsing.
Anche quando punta, vedi che ci sono in giro le ombre un po' più diverse, un po' diverse.
Sì, ovviamente per i colpi non può cambiare tanto Tyra. Ora vediamo le fiamme.
Forse nella ulti cambia. La madonna. Queste sì, queste sono belle, veramente belle.
Tipo che vanno via pipistrelli. Davvero belle.
Queste veramente belle.
So cool. And I love that we're doing something like this because I know it was such a big request last year from people that we wanted some spoopy content for Halloween, and we didn't really get it last year, but we
Bella.
even though it's not super on the spooky
È bella, è
side, we
bella.
got some, you know, definitely
Più che altro
some festive
hanno fatto
Halloween
vedere molto bene i
stuff going
colpi
on.
che
And then
comunque
next
con
year
i
we're
cosi
gonna
normali
get
non è
into
che
the level
venivano tanto
10
marcati.
unlock.
Esatto.
Oh, wait, looks like we're still in game here. Oh, we're gonna actually show you some voice lines. We almost forgot, folks. Don't worry. They're making sure we didn't
Dai,
forget to
vogliamo
give
le
you
altre
voice lines.
skinnette.
So, go ahead. I'll be quiet.
Senza
No.
morire?
Mi piace tanto la fiammella che c'è sopra l'arma, quella
Very,
disegnata.
very tough. I like it. She sounds like you don't want to mess with her, especially with all like how muscular she is as well. Definitely a fire witch who you don't
Ma
want to
è
get
comparso un
caught in
cappello
the
magico.
flames.
Vabbè,
Ma ok.
lui continua a cambiare.
Esatto.
Aptly named, I suppose. This skin is the firebrand.
Non sta
Tyra.
su.
I think that's reflected well in her personality. So I'm very excited, not only for this skin, but for all the voice packs in this battle pass. I think
Boh,
they
allora,
did a pretty good
a
job.
dir tutta,
Yeah.
bella
Yeah,
la
and
skin,
we're gonna
ma non
go
mi
now
emoziona
into our
tanto
level
il
10
fatto che sia
unlock
Tyra.
phase,
Ma che cosa?
which is the student of magic, Vivian.
Che figo!
That is obviously what I was trying to mimic here, but we're gonna
Per
see
lei
the
ci
concept
voleva
here.
una skin.
Smart shout-outs.
Dio santo,
Concept
che
is from
bella!
Jasmine.
Per lei
Character,
ci voleva
Venuti.
proprio.
Weapon,
Ne aveva
Ma chi è?
veramente poco.
Scusa.
È Vivian, l'ha detto.
Viv-
Tech
Vivian.
art, Kyle H,
Sì,
animation,
l'ha
Che
detto.
figata!
VFX,
Basta, all
Roland,
pass.
audio,
All pass.
Thomas K,
No, ma è
aka
bellissima.
and the splash was again.
No,
Zoe.
di più, di più.
So we'll be getting in here in game in just a second to her.
Ma io
Porca
ora voglio
vacca.
vederla in
But, you
game,
know,
Dio
even
santo.
though she's gonna take a couple of nerfs here, folks, we you know, we gotta still
Never want to.
give her some love in some way.
I don't ever
right?
hear you guys complaining that we make balance changes based off skins again. We have a history of actually nerfing champions when we release.
Che bella!
Wow.
Che bella.
I love the hat.
Questa ci voleva, ci voleva.
Aveva 2 skin alla fine, lei.
Mhm, già. Vediamo i colpi.
No, vediamo l'arma più che altro.
Sì, sì.
The visuals, the weapon,
Ci sta
L'arma
anche,
è-
l'arma è stupenda.
and then
Già.
the voice sounds as well.
Bello.
The effects
Che
on there.
figata!
Bello anche proprio così.
It's cool
Proprio
because,
sembrano tipo
like, why would a
slime.
witch have a gun,
Lo
but
scudo.
for-
No!
that
Non mi-
effect-
No,
My new
no,
favorite
no,
part-
dai.
My new favorite part to this is the fact that
Lo scudo è stupendo. Io voglio sapere il puntatore.
Secondo me
La sua
le
F.
granatine sono tipo dei cosi magici.
I
Io voglio
never
vedere la sua
tried
F.
effects yet, so this is like a new surprise to me, so I
Anch'io.
am
Secondo me
loving
sono
every
tipo
minute of it.
dei cosi
Cosa sono?
magici.
Oddio, ma sono delle croci.
No, ma che
What you would
cosa?
imagine if, you know, there was many witches,
Bellissimo.
Quindi a fianco avrà o le 2 pozioni o la croce a sto punto. Come ulti.
overstaffed,
Le,
but
le due, secondo me dei cerchi magici,
magic
sì,
staff
tipo.
converting it into a gun.
Vediamo, vediamo, vediamo.
Oh yeah, and then for those of you who didn't realize, she was the one that some of you didn't get. The hints were mainly, see, there's the
Ma
No,
sono
dei
dei
libri.
libri.
those are her friends.
Che
When
bello!
you're a student of magic,
Che
your best friends
figata!
are your books. You need to study.
Queste sì.
You know, contrary to popular belief, you need to
No,
study.
veramente.
And,
Ma tutto questo è
a
per
lot of you had
Halloween
some really
poi.
good guesses,
Appunto.
with the pyre symbols thinking it was Furia, but now it
Che
is,
bello.
this
Che
is
poi
Vivian. She's studying
fan venire
magic,
fuori le rune.
via the pyre,
È stupendo.
I guess
Mm.
that was the goal here, and I think it works so well. Just the, you know, the colors for this in general are just great.
Oh, che bellino!
No, che bello!
My best
I
friends
believe
are
we need-
books.
Let's listen to some voice lines
My
too.
best
We have
friends.
2 more skins to get through, and
Yeah.
we do have to show off a deadly lady at the end.
Yeah,
Yes.
so we can hear some voice. Oh yeah, I'm gonna be quiet.
I guess I am pretty cool, huh? I'll let you see my library if you want.
Mi ricorda tanto la voce della Divi,
È vero?
All right.
Alright,
però della
special
skin
request, can we
quella
hear one of the
di
jokes?
Halloween. Presente quale?
Sì, 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 sì.
Let's see. Let's see if our person monitoring can.
Secondo te chi sarà il prossimo eroe? Cioè, quello...
Non so. Non so proprio chi potrebbe essere.
Io spero troppo in Pip.
Knowledge is power. There you have it, folks. Knowledge is power, and
Se fanno di
Vivian's
nuovo
still trying to hang in
Maeve
there,
to
even
Miss Clary, anche se è
when the snark's
impossibile.
coming.
Già.
But the next one, this is the one none of you probably understood in the clues completely. I think you got the character. Oh, my hat is falling off.
Vediamo.
But we have as your level 30 unlock, Honey King, Bomb King.
Porco due!
Cosa?
The legend.
Ma cos'è? È bellissimo!
So much for us to post.
Cosa?
I want we tried to
Ma-
make so many puns and jokes.
Look at those
This is
bombs.
why I said tune in furries. They're
Ma è
Bomb King
bellissima!
is a bear. I'm trying to contain
Però
my laughter.
l'hanno fatto
but
anche
this is-
per il Battle
It's
Bite.
just- this is
Sì,
the
sì.
skin.
BK.
We just and it works so well.
Peccato.
He's a
Poi hanno
super
fatto anche la
wizard.
skin, quella di Halloween.
I'm in
Mhm.
love.
Perché
You'll
l'hanno
love
fatta
him
di
even more
nuovo?
once you see not only his abilities, but I think
Peccato.
I want to say
Vabbè.
I think his voice lines are my favorite out of all the ones that the designers and audio wrote for this patch. So we're gonna go
Ah, ho
into
veramente le
heroes.
mani
Let's see
bloccate dal
our
freddo.
King in action.
He just has so much personality with his
Wow,
It's absolutely
bello.
fantastic.
Let's just listen to some
Madò,
Ci sta?
è veramente bello.
È tipo di Verius da vecchio.
Esatto.
No, che
Che
carini!
belle!
Sono bellissimi!
Oh,
Stupende. Io voglio vedere la bomba gigante.
Ma la voce! No.
Madò.
I see chat saying the bombs are cursed. the bombs are the way the faces on those bombs are
Figata.
a representation of how 2020 is going for us so far.
Che figo che lascia i segni.
Questo è bello.
We're here.
Poi vedi che quando la appiccichi rimbalzano un
Oh,
po'.
and they have a little like
No,
magic-
che bellina! È gigante!
No, è fantastica. Poi è arrabbiata.
Sì, esatto.
Yeah, he's
Beh,
also
se ci pensi anche la bomba gigante normale è tipo arrabbiata. Che bella blu, non l'avevo vista prima.
Oh my goodness.
Ah, ma ha rimesso che si clicca 2 volte.
No, ma quello è un pentacolo satanico.
Ha rimesso che si clicca 2 volte, mi sa, sai?
No.
Perché sai che se no si...
No, alla fine è meglio, scusa.
Esatto, così fai saltare quando vuoi.
Poi puoi far saltare via i round che ti arrivano addosso.
Esatto.
Ci sta. Ci sta, ci sta,
Eh,
ci sta.
che bellina l'animazione così.
Cosa? Ok.
No, ma ci sta, dai. Se no gli altri...
È bellina, è bellina.
Ci sta, ci sta.
Particolare.
Be able to not only show off the new ultimate line, but
Oh,
also
vediamo la
the
ulti.
ultimate animation with this.
No,
È
che
stupenda la
bella!
ulti.
A strastile.
Hai sentito la musichina sotto?
No. Ciao ai knocker. Il knocker.
Ah. Ah, salve. Non ti avevo visto.
Give your king a
È stupenda. Anche proprio l'animazione di quando parte.
Brett, who worked on
Già.
that new animation, we're all big fans of
Sì, puoi decidere tu
of
quando,
the rework. Not so much of Brett, but you know.
Finalmente l'ha
quando
rimesso.
cosare il coso.
Okay. You know,
Quando
Brett,
cosare il
I had
coso.
just a little.
Yeah,
little
okay,
poke towards
whatever.
Brett, of course. He knows it's all in good fun.
Quarta
As he
e
goes
ultima.
through playtests
In teoria sì.
for 1v1s.
Dang, sounds like there's some salt there. But
No,
we have to
never.
keep moving. We are almost through.
Dopo vediamo se ci mettono
We have some special
quello che stiamo
heroes
aspettando.
I pip!
Let's roll through it. I know
Oltre a
people
Pip.
like it, but we also have
Voglio la skin di Pip.
Quello... Chi è?
Raga, Corvus,
È Corvus? No, non ha la spada.
Beh, è il coltello.
Aspetta.
È Genos.
Mi sa di sì.
No, io non uso Genos.
Io usavo Genos un botto. Quasi quasi lo inizio a riusare. Ok, dopo ho la patch completa. Mi ha scaricato il file con tutte le informazioni.
È davvero
È
figo.
Zin!
No, ma cosa?
Beh sì, con la spadona,
Beh,
giusto?
ci potevamo pensare.
Effettivamente, non mi è proprio
Mi
venuto
ha
in
confuso le
mente.
orecchie da elfo e il coso che aveva in mano con la magia.
A me non è proprio venuto in mente. Ma tu sei bella però.
Mio Dio.
Puttei, sei bella.
Figata.
Mi piacciono un botto i colpi viola.
Art, normally, at this point, we'll talk about
No,
like,
vabbè.
Sono
Che-
bellissime.
and then art, 'cause
Sì, con Zin non possono cambiare molto, però l'hanno migliorato. Bello. La ricarica è bella come carica.
Sì, carina. Peccato che
Vediamo.
non l'abbiano resa molto con
Vero.
molti effetti. Però.
Esatto. Però ci sta, perché se ci pensi le altre skin avevano tanti effetti. Una un po' più tranquilla ci sta come skin.
Però questa qui non è la skin per essere tranquilla.
No, lo so, però. Vediamo la ulti. Bella cosa della morte.
Sì, sì.
Ci sta, ci sta.
L'avevano annunciato anche su Instagram.
Ah sì? Non l'avevo visto. Vediamo se fanno vedere la ulti. Non penso che cambi chissà quanto.
Vediamo. Magari la rendono un po' più.
Forse l'animazione iniziale.
Quella ci starebbe. Vederla.
Forse cambiano l'animazione iniziale più che altro.
This is my favorite Zen weapon actually that we've come out with. I'm a big fan of the color purple on and aesthetically, especially when combined.
No, alla fine sì, non è che cambia molto a dire la verità. C'ha le
Però l'ha resa
spadate.
più violenta, se ci pensi.
Sì, sì. Vedi proprio anche le spadate, le tira molto più violente. Le spadate le tira più violente.
Poi allunga un po' il colpo della spada in basso.
Esatto.
Allora, la ulti secondo me è la cosa migliore. L'hanno fatto proprio molto aggressivo.
Le altre sono un po' troppo tranquille, quasi.
Sì, esatto, questa qua proprio ti fa venire...
Passi da un coso tranquillo e beato a la ulti che, vabbè.
Beh, Zin tranquillo e beato non mi pare proprio l'eroe adatto per dirlo.
Sentiamo, aspetta. Strano.
Non mi ispira. Non va.
Non è che mi piaccia molto come voce.
No, potevano metterci più effetti.
La voce non mi piace.
I like
No.
that he got an attitude. Like he definitely sounds like he's of some sort of royalty, even if he's not meant to be.
Poi guarda le braccia con i tatuaggi che scorrono.
Quello sì, quello è bello.
But with that said, we will go through our.
Vediamo se ne ha messa una quinta
È
oppure no.
comparsa una tazza. A caso.
We are going to go through our resources really fast. You know, these are great.
Ah no, colorazione adesso.
90, 110, and 120 unlocks for those who buy the.
Vediamo.
Are going to be featured.
Speriamo che siano carine.
As our first here.
Bella.
Figa, figa.
Ci sta. Le
Cioè,
fiamme
me la
azzurre.
immaginavo blu, a dire il vero. Per il
Sì,
poco
ci sta
blu,
di più.
She's hot.
This might be one of my favorites.
La rendono molto unica.
Bello viola.
Ci sta. Non lo so.
It was already
Carina,
hard enough, like
carina.
I couldn't find a white wizard hat like hers, so I had to like make one out of foam. And I was like, I know I'm not finding a turquoise one. I was like, they like literally only sell like black witch hats or like the ones like Adonis is wearing for the Bomb King. So, but she looks
This
great.
is novice Vivian, right?
Novice, yes, novice Vivian. But you know, she doesn't really look like a novice, but you know,
La preferivo
don't judge a
prima.
book by its cover. So next we're
Nice.
going to
Yeah,
polar bear.
But really, come on now.
Bello Vanking azzurro bianco.
This is the best skin in the battle pass.
Sì, tipo orso polare.
Esatto.
Carino.
Definitely.
Kevin's not biased.
I'm not biased at all.
Oh fuck. Scusate.
Look at those bombs. Look at the one in the lower left.
No, ho toccato quello per mutare il microfono.
But I love it.
E ha grattato.
Explode for me.
Sì, ha grattato un pochino.
Explodes. And then last but not least, we have
Questa è bella.
Stalker Zin.
Gialla è bella.
What-
Tipo
what
straelfico.
Esatto.
Mi sembra stra tanto Legolas.
looking
È
like
vero?
today with us, folks.
Cioè, è Legolas, basta.
Ma veramente?
I wake up, I reaffirm my elf
Potrebbero
status.
farci una carta di Yu-Gi-Oh con sta roba.
Ma veramente?
È veramente figo.
È uguale, vero?
Da qui. E lei è Vivian.
Thank you.
Lei è Vivian e
realized
lui è
this morning
BK.
that I missed
Praticamente.
I realized how incredibly- Now I'm Brazil.
Ci sta sto roba.
With that, we're gonna move on to our next skin that will be coming in this patch as well. We have a special Christmas skin for all of y'all, but it's not so holly jolly as it is very scary. We have Krampus. Literally Krampus.
Porco due.
Ma che cosa?
Allora, già è grosso, se te lo metti così è ancora più grosso.
Cioè, è tipo ora un satanista.
Praticamente.
Mi sembra tipo, vuoi un regalo? Ok, te lo picco in bocca.
Se non vuoi il regalo te lo do comunque.
And with
Devo superare il
the
decco.
skin, there is going to be a rework to the festive chest, similar to how the worldwide was, so that it's not going to be little items, I think, like weapons and everything. It'll be purely skins and different ones, but also this is where you'll get that, and that will be
È bellina, è bellina.
November 25th.
Cioè,
So look out for the Krampus.
però hanno appena fatto una skin di Raum.
Other than that, I'm just gonna say here.
Ok, che ne hanno
real
fatte
quick,
due per aio di
we're
fila.
just gonna have 2 chests coming out. There's one on November 4th coming, called the Dangerous Heroine
Il chest
chest.
coming out.
The contents in that
Le
are
ceste che fanno
strictly,
coming out.
Street Style March,
Le
Daywalker
ceste
Vivian,
tutte
Troll
gay.
Patrol Leon,
Ma dai.
Street Forged Imani, Gunslinger
Scusa.
Tyra, Battlesuit Angel Furia, Iron Madam Ainara, Divine Ceres. So that one, it's like some of the skins, you might have seen some of them in a thing before, in a chest before, but like Gunslinger Tyra, for instance, hasn't been in one yet. And I'm trying to remember, I don't know, I think we've had Street Style Maven one, but I know a lot of people still really want to get Street Style Maven still. So awesome, love when they do these. And then our last one here is the Beyond Science and Fiction, available November 25th. Will be 400 crystals, and in that it's going to be Stellar Protector Vora, which
Le skin
Vora, so get hyped.
di...
As well as
più che skin sono colorazioni
Steel Forged
Già.
Barrack, Omega
di
Dread,
Vora.
and the Obsidian Warhorse.
Ci stanno un botto le colorazioni che ha.
And yeah, that's it for
Non le
chests.
vedo.
Only 2 coming
No,
in
perché io sono sulla
but
patch.
very
No, ok.
exciting
Vabbè,
ones,
le
I
vedremo
think,
qui.
like, there's
Sì, 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 sì.
content that you couldn't get in either of them before.
Dire la verità è tipo un po' un casino
So now,
come champion.
Immagino.
Proprio, cioè, è
Ok,
veramente...
parlando di Vora.
the first ever look of the finalized map of the realm. Now, many of you know that we have gone through and sent out pieces of the map, well, Atlas did, to 4 of our influencers that you probably saw on Twitter that we retweeted with videos, getting packages, and there was like a parchment version of the map. It had less detail because it was Atlas, right? But here it is. Now, Alex
Cos'è?
M was who did all of the artwork for this, but it's the lore team who also worked with
Che
Alex
figata.
to
Ma sono tutte le
Ma la
mappe.
point and
L'aveva
make
messa
sure we
anche su,
know
su
exactly
Instagram, mi
where
pare.
everything
Pare di sì.
meant to be placed if we didn't already have that
Che bella.
solidified. We wanted to do this for the fans because we know that
No, su
we
Instagram
in the
no.
past have not had
No?
every bit
Però
of
è
information
bellissimo.
there
Sì,
that
sì.
we could have had for you, and this is a start in the right direction, I feel, if we already haven't been going that way for you. So this will be available too on social media very shortly if it already isn't, for you to look at yourself and have saved to
Davvero
your own
tanta roba
computer,
questa.
maybe even make your background on your computer of if you're really into that. So I hope you all are really
Ci sta anche
enjoying
come
that.
sfondo
I
PC.
know Nico pretty much leads our meetings if we're in there for the lore team, so I know he's probably super excited about us finally showing that as well.
Yes, I'm super hyped when people get excited about the lore. I know a lot of people would love to
È
have
scioccato.
even more stuff, but yeah, but we're still we're doing our best in that front.
Yeah, and I just heard from a little birdie in my ear that we are going into Vora. Now, if you haven't seen it, folks, you'll see it here. We're gonna replay the debut
Okay.
trailer for her before we go into her
Ci siamo.
and her lore. So let's get to it.
Ah, la rifà rivedere quello che abbiamo visto prima.
You told us the seal had evil at bay. But we we fell prey to a different kind of evil.
Mi sembra tanto Io però così. Non è che è tipo una sorella, è la sorella di Io.
Boh, è vero, è simile.
Use the power to protect myself. I am coming for you, goddess. You and your realm's peace.
Sì, secondo me non è un caso che abbiano messo questa mappa,
No matter what game you play, I will sweep the board of your pawns. Go ahead.
Che figata.
I will not be stopped. Darkness will engulf this world, and I will be its herald.
Niente da dire, veramente.
Wow.
Could we,
È
could we
tanta,
classify her
tanta,
as a
tanta
vulnerable,
roba.
or is that like a little too far?
Sì, sì.
It's gonna rip your head off.
Yeah,
gonna
yeah, actually, that's
div-
fair. That's fair.
devour
There's some
you.
red flags. if you're-
Devora you. She's gonna devora you. Anyways, so that was Vora. I know that we are trying to make sure we fit as much
Okay.
of her in-game play here as we can. So we're gonna transition over to that as soon as we can. I know we have our splash art as well here. There we go. And while that's up,
Allora,
would you
questa
mind giving us some
colorazione
lore here?
è quella di
Nico?
base teoricamente.
Yeah, I can go ahead
Quello
and
che
read you
abbiamo
the lore
anche
blurb
come
and just talk a
copertina.
little bit about that. So, her lore blurb: a life once devoted to Io, the moon goddess. Her sacred martial order was
Però
one of the last
ha
to
veramente
protect
un
the ancient
design
seals, but even they
bellissimo.
did not know the extent of the
Cioè,
chaos beneath. Feeling forsaken by her goddess,
davvero bello.
surrounded by unanswered prayers and
Nulla da
broken
dire.
bodies, she has chosen to embrace that chaos. The realm is on the path to self-destruction, but she will deliver it from that fate. She brings the end of these wars, of that suffering, an end to everything. Those who know of her dread her coming, for she is Vora, harbinger of the end of the realm, and they are not prepared. So she just I could talk for many minutes about this, but the TLDR, the gist of it is she is one of a sacred martial order who worshipped Io and kept these seals protected. Io, unfortunately, was not present during the conflict that was brought to the Shattered Desert and subsequently to her village. Most of her friends, family, and order were killed, and she essentially is left mostly alone in the world. She's chosen to actively embrace what was once forsaken, or once, that chaos that was supposed to be guarded against, and is now probably, quite possibly, the greatest threat to the realm that the realm has ever seen. So,
Poi un'altra
big
cosa che mi fa
significance.
pensare
Yeah,
che sia
I mean,
sorella di
we've seen
Io.
from just the teaser campaigns,
No,
she's not
niente.
to be reckoned with.
Scherzone.
There she is.
Che
There
figata!
she is.
Dio mio.
lady. Now, one vibe I always got, and we'll see it here when we show off her moves, is it made me think of almost like ballerinas, like her animations and stuff, like very graceful, but deadly, right? Like
Yeah, I know
divine and
the animation team used a lot of dancing and ballerina as inspiration for how she moves around and uses her scythe and other abilities. So it's a very fluid combat style, both gameplay wise and visually, and she's so much fun to play.
No, è veramente bellissima quelle
Kevin,
matte.
if
If
you
you like, I
wanna,
can just start,
Kevin,
rolling
let's
through some
run
of
through the
the.
abilities.
Poi come corre
Let's do it. So, if you've not heard,
sa
she's
tanto
a
di
flanked
assassina.
champion.
Veramente.
Base health 2000. And she has a passive. So you see the UI elements there under her reticle. Her passive is darkness. So
Guarda
hits
adesso i tre
against
puntini,
enemies
i 5
with
puntini che ha
siphon
lì.
provide a stack of darkness to you. Using Dark Siphon or Obliteration, which are two of her other abilities, will consume all stacks, regardless of number of stacks you
Ok,
have.
come
Healing
pensavo
you for
aveva un
100
colpo da
over 1
distanza.
second per stack. And if you have maximum stacks, you actually
Vedi che però
augment
carica i
Che è
puntini
tipo
quando è
il
distante.
veleno di
at
Sky,
maximum 5 stacks,
però un
as you can
pochino più
see with the
debole.
tips there.
Sì, praticamente sì. Però il problema è quanto distante può attaccare.
Però non lo immaginavo come colpo normale. Quindi l'altra sua mossa, il tasto destro, sarà molto probabilmente un colpo ravvicinato.
Ah, più aumentano i puntini,
Ah,
più
ok.
fa da più
Quando ha
scarica.
tutti
Esatto,
i
fa più
punti,
veloce.
fa più danno.
No, non è che fa più danno, attacca più veloce. Che attacca proprio più veloce.
Ci sta un botto.
Inizia anche a fare più danno, più da hit
Mi piace
rapide.
tantissimo. Però non mi immaginavo un flank così.
Ma è molto particolare come flank.
We can show off the first ability, which is the alt fire, obliteration. So essentially, you jump up and slash down around you, dealing 500 damage and applying a small knockback to enemies' hit.
Cos'era questa?
Ci sta.
Era l'F o il tasto?
Ci sta.
Oh, è il tasto è il secondo
È
tasto.
tipo la mossa di Terminus.
Esatto.
Cioè un po' diversa.
Esatto. Adesso anche qui bisogna vedere come lo fa. Ma lo carica velocissimo. Ah, quando ha tutti i 5 puntini, se salta,
Rallenta anche.
rallenta e fa più danno, e fa anche molto più danno se ha tutti i 5 pannini attivi. Guarda, ha fatto un doppio 500, mi sembra. Quindi
ok, ho capito.
ha un range molto ampio.
Colpisci e riempi i puntini, più forte sarà l'abilità dopo.
Esatto.
I've loved her visuals ever since I started seeing everyone play her in the dev builds when she was getting developed.
Sì, praticamente c'è un'abilità che scarica tutti i danni dei puntini.
Esatto.
And he's on the other team. It literally, I get dead because I'm like usually playing as like IO trying to support.
Ok.
Waddles and Brett have both taken a liking, I think, to Vora, which has been fantastic to see in the playtests, except when they kill me, in which case I'm sad. Moving on to the next ability.
Adesso è da capire quanto ha range. Quanto è lungo il range d'attacco. È tipo... È tipo Grover.
Abilità
È Grover.
me la immaginavo esattamente così.
È tipo Grover.
Cioè, alla fine è come quella di Grover.
Esatto.
Però...
È praticamente uguale.
Ci sta.
Semplicemente... Ah, puoi anche grabbare. Ti puoi proprio appiccicare agli altri pure. Con Grover non potevi farlo. Con lei invece ti puoi appiccicare. Beh, è comodo. Se sta scappando. Ci sta. Porca vacca.
Sarà l'abilità principale di questo eroe.
È un po' come lo scatto di Maeve. Alla fine. Peccato che è tipo abilità secondaria. Cioè abilità secondaria, un'abilità speciale di quel che l'è.
Well, I won't interrupt you anymore.
Andiamo.
That was a little detail I noticed and had to point out, especially for everyone watching.
Yeah, absolutely. That's part of what makes it fun, right? Is that lore.
Vediamo se ci fanno vedere la seconda, la Q.
Moving into her ultimate ability, Harbinger's Wrath.
Ok.
So this is one of my
Quindi sì, praticamente puoi spammare un botto.
Ok.
Dopo magari ci sarà anche un countdown o qualcosa del genere. Però secondo la patch questa qua che ho io scritta, funziona che... No, aspetta, me la sono persa. Oddio, ma qual è? Porca vacca! È la Q questa?
Fai un botto di danno quando vai.
È la Q o la ulti?
brilliant animation,
Vicino.
very cinematic, very cool.
E lo stunni
You can even go ahead
anche.
and punch Fernando
Ci
a little
sta,
bit,
ci
see if you
sta.
can get him below that threshold. That hunter-killer vibe, I think,
Oh.
really plays well here.
That
Madonna.
screeching noise when she goes up and kills them, I'm terrified.
E niente, avventurieri, io devo
This
lasciarvi qui.
ability lasts for 5
Adesso tra
seconds and
pochissimo
can be
tornerà
quick-fired to
Super
cancel.
e...
And
Bye
that
bye.
is, that's the gist of her kit. We can very quickly, I can just talk about, I don't think we need to necessarily show off any of the talents, but I can talk about her talents. One of her talents
Allora.
provides an extra, I believe, 10% damage, 10% of maximum health damage to enemies hit by her Dark Siphon, which is her projectile. One of her talents, when you hit enemies with Obliteration, which is her alt fire, that jump up and slash down, will silence enemies hit by Obliteration for, I believe, 1.5 seconds. And then her third talent is essentially 2 charges of Tendril. So the ability to provide yourself a huge amount of mobility, be where you want to be on the battlefield, and use that in conjunction with some of her cards, which play into that ability.
Yeah. Let's go through some of her voice lines. I know we have only a little bit of time left, so we got to see the majority of what makes her in here.
Vediamo un po' come funziona tutto quanto.
Some of these voice lines. I love her voice actor or actress, by the way.
With me, partner. I'll take your breath away.
La voce mi piace un botto, ci sta, ci sta.
Who is the voice actress, Nico? Do you know?
Suppose you're not useless. I am the last breath. All good things to those who wait.
Yeah.
Sì, dai, ci sta come voce, non è male.
Huge shout out to, I believe it's Stephanie Panicello.
We must capture the objective.
Okay.
I believe this is her first time doing work for Paladins, but she absolutely nailed Vora. She did a fantastic job as Vora, as the villainess. So huge shout outs to Stephanie.
Sì, è giusto da capire come utilizzare bene tutte le abilità nel momento giusto. Belle le motte.
Our newest champ here, look at her. She's getting some love. So,
cool.
Her first skin we're gonna show you is her Steel Guardian skin. This is a limited skin. This is the season pass.
Bella.
Fancy.
Galactic Conqueror. I'm sorry. I skipped the one. You can put it back up there. Sorry.
The one.
Galactic Conqueror. Sorry.
Bella questa.
Is the one that you will be able to get in the
Passata demoniaca a angelica a random, però ci sta. Angelica poi, per modo di dire.
Sister skins. They need a villain. This is the villain. This is the antagonist, right? That is her. And the scythe. The scythe is one of my favorite things about that skin. It got the little bow on it too in the game at the bottom. It is amazing.
That stellar crystal is fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely. And then now we're gonna go into Steel Guardian. My bad, folks. This is the limited one. This is going to be, as many of you saw.
Questa è molto simile a Luna.
Of the uncorrupt,
Cioè, proprio, secondo me ha lo stile di Luna. È di Luna, scusate. Io ho sbagliato tantissimo. Oh merda.
So if you really like this skin, you will want to get that. If you already have the season pass, then you're set. You get it in there. You'll also be getting Honor Guard, which this one is not limited, but it is a alternative version of the Steel Guardian. And this is also unlocked through the season pass as well. So you will not only be getting the first one, but also this if you have the season pass, which I think a great deal. Normally, I think we only do one season pass skin, so having the other variant is really nice, in my opinion. So we're going to go also into the alternative for her default, which is Herald Vora. And there she is.
Wow.
Kind of almost gives me like an
Ci sta, ci sta. Questa ci sta.
Love it. This one though is the one that you can unlock with 200 crystals or 60,000 gold. So many of you are always like, what can I do with all this gold? Well, there you go. This is why we still do the double gold weekends with the account XP, because there are some people that are newer to the game that don't have any, that when they get the gold and they get double gold, heck, you can buy you know, an alternative skin for your, you know, character. And gold, speaking of gold,
Speaking
we are
of
going
gold.
into, yeah, speaking of it, we are going into golden Vora, and she looks fierce AF. This obviously, by reaching mastery level 50, is how you will get golden Vora. So that is our conclusion of her. Designers, do you have any final words on Vora? I know many people are probably itching to get into the PTS when it's up. You know, hopefully within the next week. You know, we don't have a date that we announced yet, but you know, obviously we're working on our way to get it to you all. But yeah, Adonis, Nico, any words?
I mean, I can only speak for myself, but I think Vora has been one of the most fun champs to work on. Has, you know, so much iteration, so much fun, especially with the playtest people, you know, people taking to her. So I'm really very excited for to get everyone's feedback on her and to get her into the realm, because I think you guys will really enjoy her.
Yeah, from a design standpoint for a flank, I'm really excited. Since she doesn't have the traditional defensive abilities that you see from a lot of our flank characters, she's more reliant on utilizing your built-in lifesteal on abilities and the darkness passive. So figuring out how and when to use abilities and in what situation I think will be important to actually play her well at a high level. And she has a lot of really cool combinations, especially with the ability to tendril into obliteration down on top of someone and finish them off with your ultimate. So I'm excited for players to get their hands on it and see what people think.
Yeah, absolutely. This has been hands down my favorite teaser campaign that we've gotten to do, you know, like community, but I think it's because, like, I think personally one of the reasons why it turned out the best it's been for any of ours, just seeing the hype alone, is because of us working with the lore team. Like, you know, community, my end, we always have a role to do, and normally it's, you know, we try to get everyone involved, but like we really worked with, you know, Nico and the lore team a lot on this, and you know, I think we executed probably our best
Allora,
campaign with teasing Vora, getting the hype ready for her, and just seeing everyone's responses to everything has been so fun. We got our international people involved. I love it, and it just shows like what we truly love.
vediamo se fanno vedere qualcos'altro, se no possiamo anche staccare, voilà.
You all, you know, buying into the hype too, because obviously Vora is worth all the hype. She is sick. But with that said, our conclusion of Vora, we have a couple things before ending the show, so thank you for sticking around. This is community content, so we will be doing a bunch of avatars again. I know some people are like, I wish I had more than this. Well, this is what we can do for now. We know 2020 has been hard for us.
Ok, adesso fanno vedere tutte le robe, diciamo tutte le cose, come si chiamano? Immagini di profilo.
But you'll also be able to unlock these. Obviously, the first will be around Halloween, on Halloween, with the
Va bene, dai ragazzi, diciamo che ci possiamo lasciare qua. Adesso fanno vedere un po' tutto quello che altre robe che hanno aggiunto. Se volete vi lascio il link per questa live qui, quella di ufficiale, in descrizione di questo live. Così quando finisce di ricaricare potete andare a continuare se volete vedere tutto il resto. E noi ci vediamo venerdì con un video di Paladins. Ciao a